Belief is better than wishing. Every single time, 10 times a day, and once more on Sunday. I love this idea that's just been kind of sitting in my brain. The reason why I'm bringing this to you today is because recently I've consumed two really interesting pieces of content that I think help kind of bring this to life. So the first is back in April 2024, when we took our family, our boys, to Disney, we saw a bunch of stuff all over the park that was about this new movie that they had out called Wish. And we'd seen everything everywhere, wish this, wish that. So we were like, we gotta watch Wish when we come home. One Friday afternoon, we started watching this movie. We do things in installments over here at the Caffrey house because either mom falls asleep on the couch or the kids get unruly after about 20-25 minutes. And so we're watching this movie in installments. The same time that I am reading an incredible book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, really common book about business and personal development. I'm assuming that a lot of you guys know the premise behind Think and Grow Rich. It's really the tenets that you need to develop a rich mindset and thus improve the numbers in your bank account. And Wish in the Disney world is about a guy who goes and starts a new community of his own. And in order to be accepted into the community, you need to, as a participant, give your biggest wish to this guy. And he makes them make a wish, and then he takes the wish. And he only grants the wishes that are actually supporting the community. But this totalitarian type of version of this guy who actually chooses which wishes to actually grant. And so a lot of the people are living under this hope that their wish is going to be granted by some external person instead of really owning their own wishes, right? Instead of owning their own dreams and believing that they're actually going to be coming true. There's a huge amount of information to unpack here, but what I'm going to try to do is break down for you guys here how exactly you can systematically achieve the things that you believe versus just wishing them to be true. So the number one thing that I see when I talk with business owners is that they say, well, I want to make $1 million. And we say, great. Well, if you believe that you're going to make $1 million, then that's the first step. If you wish that you're going to make $1 million, it's probably never going to happen, especially if you don't put things into action. So I actually believe that the difference between wishing and believing is that you have proof, right? You have proof that something is going to affect the outcome that you want, right? If you just wish for $1 million and you sit here and you do nothing about it, then the fact of the matter is that the likelihood that that's going to come true is very, very low. And I see this happening all the time. You want the outcomes in your life. You want to be in better shape. You want to be a better spouse. You want to be a better mom, a better, a business owner, and you don't actually believe that is true of yourself yet. And so you haven't yet made a commitment to, doing the things that need to be true to make that thing come true. I know that especially in Think and Grow Rich, right? This is where a lot of people pull their manifestation, information from, right? They're like, oh, if you believe it to be true, then there's no possible way that it won't come, right? We can basically, wish it into existence, or we can believe it into existence. And I'm not saying that, 100% not. But I think if we believe something, a couple of things need to be true. Number one, we need to be committed. And so I love the idea of commitment. I think that it's really, really helpful because I think if you are really committed to something, you recommit every day, every second of your day, and you almost craft your life around the commitment that you have to a particular outcome. I heard a story recently from an old coach of mine. His name is Chris Smith. He was talking about one of his business partners and his exact belief that he was going to coach someone on the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was going to work with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And it was such a cool story when he was telling it on his podcast, Family Brand, that he runs with his wife, Melissa. And they were talking about this thing is that he told everybody he met that he was going to work with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And guess what happened? He started working with them like 3 months later. It was out of control. The thing is that he didn't just say that he was going to work with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He did the things and connected with the people and made the right moves in order to actually move him forward on that trajectory. So he didn't just sit in his house and tell his spouse that he was going to work with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He went out and met people and talked about the Arizona Diamondbacks. And when the opportunity came where somebody that he'd connected with after doing the work and doing the networking and all the stuff had a connection at the Arizona Diamondbacks, he was a shoo-in. So the big thing that you want to do is you want to stay committed. You want to speak your truth out loud. You want to know exactly what you're believing in, and you want to do the things that statistically improve your chances of getting that thing. We don't want to have a wish or a belief that we're going to lose weight, then we don't do anything statistically to prove to ourselves that we're committed to that. So the second thing that will kind of dovetail off of the commitment is second, the confidence. You need to be so dang confident. Imagine if the story about the Arizona Diamondbacks guy, he was like, one day I would just love to work with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Not going to get that job, not going to be confident enough. And if you want to be in a position to actually strategically achieve the things that you believe that you want inside of your life, it is required that you have confidence. Absolutely required. Whether you believe in yourself or whether you are actually confident that you're going to win that business or that you're going to achieve that goal or that you're going to improve your relationships, whether you are confident or not, it is required that you portray confidence. You can be vulnerable and be like, hey, listen, this is a really tough goal, but I'm really committed to working with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Or it's a really, really tough one, and I know I might slip up sometimes, so I'm really committed to, losing 30 pounds. Those types of things are going to set you apart. And we want to operationalize the way that we achieve the things that we believe that we are going to achieve, because otherwise we are not going to be able to meet some of the highest standards that we set for ourselves in our business. We're not going to be able to lead others on our team to be able to do that. We're going to show that we have a lack of commitment and a lack of confidence that's going to radiate out to potential clients and your marketplace as you try to build your brand and build your notoriety. And so I personally believe that having a belief, being committed, being confident is going to help you achieve pretty much everything else inside of your company. I think some folks struggle with really internalizing their beliefs and saying, you know what, I alone have the ability to achieve this. Not that you won't look outside for help and support and guidance and that kind of thing, but we don't want to externalize the things that we want to achieve inside of our business. It's not on anybody else. It's not on your mom. It's not on your friends and family. It's not on your team. It's not on your business coach, right? Those people are strategically placed for you to be able to get amazing support along the way, but ultimately it's up to you. And you need to believe, you need to actually commit, and you need to create the confidence that is required in order for you to systematically hit these goals. Now, the number one reason why folks do not achieve the goals that they want to achieve in their business is that they don't actually believe it for themselves. They aren't committed and they aren't confident about it. And the things that kill the belief, the commitment, and the confidence is that, proverbial shiny object syndrome, right? They don't have enough focus. The second thing that they do is that they don't actually keep the commitments that they make to themselves. And so what that does is it's eroding our personal trust and eroding our self-love, and it actually shatters our beliefs and it shatters our confidence, right? Our confidence is not able to be built up because what we do is we say, well, I believe I'm going to lose 30 pounds, but statistics or past behavior show that every Friday I'm out eating a full pizza. That isn't going to be something that's going to make us confident that next time we declare what our belief is that we're going to lose 30 pounds, it's going to feel really inauthentic because we don't believe it ourselves. And the third is that they can't be observed as trending toward that goal, right? So externally, I listened to a Hormozy podcast a couple of months ago about this particularly. And I don't love the idea of, leaning into the validation from folks externally, but there's a huge power in identifying first and foremost what somebody might observe about you if you are achieving a goal. So let's just say, for example, my goal at the end of last year and even into early this year was developing more patience in my business, as a mom, as a partner, as a human being, right? I am a super impatient person. And I think it served me up until a certain point in my business where it was really just about hustling and grinding and getting through barriers and pushing and pushing and pushing. But now really it's about patience. It's about sitting with the numbers. It's about really digesting what's best for our company, because right now when I make decisions, that's going to affect our business 12 to 18 months in advance. And I need to be a little bit more pragmatic about how I make decisions and how my patience is improved in that process in order for my business to be really successful. What I first did is I said, okay, what is patience to me? So I defined it for myself. And then the second thing I did was I said, who would be able to observe me being patient, and how would they be able to tell that I'm a patient person? And so I think we can use external folks not to go and say, hey, listen, do you think I'm patient? And then have them speak negativity into us. But we can go to them and say, hey, listen, do you experience me as a patient person? And what would need to be true about the way that I handle myself to be experienced by you as a patient person? And those conversations are incredibly valuable. We don't get specific enough in the way that we craft our beliefs, our goals, and the things that we want to improve about our lives, our businesses, our personal relationships, and any of that stuff, because we don't actually go back and ask those really important questions. We don't really define that stuff for ourselves. And so what is going to be so impactful for you is belief. Craft that belief, right? You want to be committed and you want to be confident that you have everything you need to be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve. You don't need external people. You might need support in other directions, but you can and should hold that belief the closest to your heart as possible. Speak confidently and stay committed to that. Do not deviate your focus. Don't do it. Deviating your focus is going to spread you thin in multiple directions, and it's going to end up setting you up for failure, massive, massive failure in achieving any of your goals, because you're not going to be committed in any one direction. Second thing is make sure that you keep the promises that you make to yourself. Don't break those promises. Don't continue to relapse, because what it's going to do is it's going to erode your belief, it's going to erode your confidence, and it's going to overall erode your commitment and the likelihood that you're actually going to do that thing. Third and finally, let's make sure that we actually have a way to measure our improvement, whether that is taking a look at external factors and how people are experiencing us, or make sure that we're charting our experience along the way. Really define what success looks like, how it can be observed externally, what you might achieve internally. That way you know that you can celebrate those little micro wins and that you aren't kind of trying to hold on to a really slippery dream or belief that feels like you can't quite get your hands around what is going to be improved about your life. Do not just wish into the ethers. Believe that you are going to do the thing that you want to do, and make sure that it is something that is going to be built into pretty much the entire version of your being moving forward, because otherwise you're going to leave a lot on the table. It's going to take a ton more time to be able to achieve that thing. And this is just totally true. It's going to be a disservice to the people that you could be serving with all of these wonderful gifts that you have. So operationalize how you achieve your goals and how you build belief in yourself. I'll see you next time.